And good afternoon, everyone. This is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor. My name is Jim, and this is the Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG network. This is a directed network, and I am net control. If at any time during this net should an emergency arise, please notify net control, and we'll stand by and allow those in need to access this frequency. Is there any priority or emergency traffic at this time? And hearing nothing, we will continue. This net is all about ham radio and being all that you can be. That's what our QSO-VLOG network is all about, trying to help people achieve the best sounding station possible. Thanks for dropping by. FYI, my background is 50 years in commercial broadcasting, where a lot of big bucks are spent on audio processing equipment and getting it set up correctly to get the loudest, fullest sounding station possible. Well, long story short, when I became a ham radio operator, I could hear immediately a large discrepancy in on-air technical proficiency. A lot of stations were running with very poor mic equalization, very muddy, with little articulation. And as I continued to work stations, I realized most of the stations were also running very low average peak modulation, many around 30% of average peak modulation. So with my background, I felt I could help, or at least try. I knew that most modern-day ham transceivers did have enough onboard processing equipment to be able to overcome most all of the problems. So it would just be a matter of developing a generic dynamic range setup procedure and then adjusting the onboard EQ gear. And so I started the QSO-VLOG network with the phrase, if you have a radio you want to check out, give us a shout. And today we're currently featuring over 1,700 QSO Aircheck recordings. Our statement for the mission for this network is to establish a higher technical level of radio transmissions of the human voice by the intelligent utilization of available electronics in current amateur radio transceivers. Our setup, while generic in nature, converts the average 10 dB dynamic range transmitter with an average 30% of peak modulation to a much fuller 3 dB dynamic range with an average 80 to 85% of peak modulation. This substantial boost in audio transmit level is extremely beneficial in high noise levels and heavy QRM. It allows you to punch through when others fail. The second part of our transmitter setup has to do with proper mic equalization. We're looking to optimize the transmitted voice for a higher degree of intelligibility through the use of EQ patterns that bring out the articulation aspects of the human voice. Again, why need to hear the voice if you can't understand the words? Also this afternoon, on the receive side, we're running 4 Internet SDR receivers, monitoring New York, Pennsylvania, Georgia, and Virginia, trying to get the best copy possible for my 100-watt friends. Now the audio from these 4 SDR receivers comes up on a 6-position rotary selector. Also in this selector is our local receiver audio. And today our local receiver is running 2 large 10-foot vertical magnetic loop antennas, one aimed north and south, the other east and west. The north and south mag loop can be rotated. They are selected by a 3-position rotary selector. Position 3 of this selector is a co-phase option that many times is 3 to 4 dB hotter than mag loop 1 or 2 by themselves. Also today, on the transmit side, we'll be running our no SWR specially oriented dipole antenna. One leg of this dipole is broadside to Montreal, Canada. The other leg is broadside to Miami, Florida. As we were constructing our station, our mantra was 20 over from Montreal to Miami with a hotspot through the Carolinas. And although conditions may vary, the general performance of this antenna supports its mission. Also today, we'll be running our input source indicator, so when we switch from an Internet SDR receiver to our local receiver, you'll be able to hear the switch and see the switch. You'll have to check it out on our YouTube QSO-VLOG video. And as we come together for another Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG network, let us pause just a moment for the amateur radio operator's prayer. Lord, we pray for clear 20 over S9 communications today. Let all of our transmissions fill the air and reach their destinations, QSA-5, to be understood by all. And as long as we're praying for good radio conditions, let us also pray for good human conditions. During this time of pandemic that has challenged us all, we pray that you will protect everyone, especially our elderly. And also, Lord, we seek your divine intervention to bring peace to a very divided United States. As we go through a very conflicting time in America's history, with dark clouds all around, we pray that you will reduce life's daily political QRM between our brothers and sisters. And through your love and guidance, show us the way to find peace and harmony. Help us to communicate with one another 20 over S9. Thank you, Lord, and God bless and protect America. Amen. To continue, since this is an area of the band where we have many nets trying to operate in a very confined area, I would appreciate all stations checking into our QSO-VLOG net to keep their bandpass to no wider than 100 to 2900. Again, please, no wider than 100 to 2900. This is the Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG network. And now let's check in and see if Charlie, K1GZL, is on frequency to bring us up to date on the latest 40-meter band propagation. Charlie's QTH is up north in northern New Hampshire, near the Canadian border. Charlie, got a copy?
Canadian border. Charlie, got a copy?
Oh, yeah, Jim, beautiful, running 7 to 5 over 9 direct, because I don't have any SDR equipment here. But you sound fine on this beautiful sunny afternoon. Light wind out of the south, and it's 76 degrees in the shade, and that's above normal. So I hope you copy, and I do have a recording on 4 meters from New Zealand on Wednesday morning. 2 days ago, K1GZL.
Roger, Charlie. Yes, I have you about 15 over on Milford. So tell us about this recording.
15 over on Milford. So tell us about this recording.
Okay, Roger, I recorded this, as they say, Wednesday morning, just 2 days ago. And it was about 6 o'clock in the morning, and here it is. This fellow was in New Zealand, and he was in Wellington, which is the very southern part of the North Island of New Zealand, and this is on 40. Here it is.
Zulu Lima, what's your name and location, please? 59 report, that's near North New Hampshire. Kilowatt 1, Golf Zulu Lima. I'm ZL2 Sugar Delta X-Ray. You're also 5959 here, Charlie. The name is Darren, D-A-R-R-E-N. And I'm about 45 kilometres northeast of the capital, Wellington. Record for you, Charlie, is about 41 past 9. Wednesday evening. And it's been about 68 degrees Fahrenheit throughout the day. Quite a mild winter's day here. We've had no rain today, it's been quite dry. It's a great surprise. We've had a lot of rain here for sure over the last week, Charlie. I'll be interested to know what antenna system is and how much power you're running. Not running anything fantastic this time, Charlie. But I am running about a kilowatt, 1 kW. The antenna's an 87 metre. A delta loop around 70 feet. What a beautiful copy and a great signal coming from North New Hampshire. Kilowatt 1, Golf Zulu Lima. ZL2 SDX, over.
Okay, Jim, and that was Darren on the very south part of the North Island of New Zealand. But we had horrendous static that day. It was awful because my antenna was firing out into the thunderstorm areas to the southwest. KC9VKV K1GZL.
Roger, Charlie. Well, sounded good to me. He has the same accent. That must be close to Australia, those two countries. I'm not geographically very very good, but he did sound like he had the Australian accent, Roger.
Good, but he did sound like he had the Australian accent, Roger.
I think originally this fellow was from England, and where he is in New Zealand, He's about 1,200 miles east, or east-southeast Australia, 1,200 miles east and east-southeast of Australia. There are, in other words, 2 hours in time. 2 hours in time. In other words, they're 16 hours ahead of us. 16 hours ahead of us. And in eastern Australia, like in Melbourne and Sydney, they're 12 hours this time of year ahead of us, as they are on their winter time. It is their winter down there, Jim. Go ahead.
Roger, Roger. And I was just curious now, obviously your antenna is not movable. I mean, directionality-wise, you're kind of fixed in one direction. So if this guy was 1,200 miles to the east, I think you said, of your normal Australian target, how does that work, Roger?
Target, how does that work, Roger?
No, actually, New Zealand is more on my antenna. Australia never has been broadside. It's just my location lets me, get into Australia very well. But no, I'm firing very close to him, or maybe just a hair east of New Zealand. When I'm talking, say, into Melbourne, Australia, that's a little less than my half PowerPoint into Australia, but it's just a location here with wet clay as on the ground slope, and the reflection that gets me into Australia. I've never had an antenna that is aimed into Australia on 40 meters ever from this location. Jim, go ahead.
Roger, well, whatever you got there, it's working. It always, you always have a good signal there. That guy was probably about 8 dB above your noise level, and so it was really, really good signal, Roger.
And so it was really, really good signal, Roger.
Okay, yeah, he had a good signal. The static level was incredible. If there had not been that static on there, he would have sounded like a local broadcast station. He was 10, 15 over 9, and the static level was going anywhere from a 7 to 10 to 10 over. So the whole band was just jam-packed with Queen Roger Nancy. And that morning when I tuned 20, I heard absolutely nothing from the South Pacific, just nothing. Go ahead.
Roger, Charlie. Always very, very interesting. We appreciate the information there, and we'll say 73 up that way, and you have a good afternoon, beautiful weekend coming up, Roger.
3 up that way, and you have a good afternoon, beautiful weekend coming up, Roger.
Okay, you also, and we'll try to catch you next Friday. Try to catch you next Friday there, and I should have a recording of Captain Mike. Because I'm going to pick him up on this next coming Wednesday morning. I believe that might be the 30th. I'll have to look at my Sacramento, California. As he flies from Sacramento, California to Philadelphia on the BOSE Sport 767. You got a good signal. Here's your signal through our present static.
If you're normal Australian target, how does that work, Roger?
Okay, it works when the band permits. Jim, thank you very much. I hope everybody is healthy and down there, and will continue to be so. KC9VKV, K1GZL. Always a pleasure.
Roger, Charlie, 73, sir, and you have a great afternoon, beautiful weekend. This is the QSO-VLOG net. Just a reminder, my name is Jim, KC9VKV, and I'm better known in some circles as Dr. VKV. We're recording now live till 5, so if you have a radio you want to check out, give us a shout. We'll post this recording up on YouTube in the next couple of days. So when you go to YouTube, just do a call letter search for KC9VKV, followed by today's date, 6/25/21, and that will take you to this recording. If you just go to YouTube and do only a call letter search for KC9VKV, that will take you to our QSO-VLOG page, where you'll find 1,700 recorded QSO-VLOGs with all different kinds of radio setups and people, and maybe hear some transmissions that might intrigue you as far as maybe wanting to sound more like them than you sound now, or not. But it's options is what it is. So we'll say be listening now for KC9VKV. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
KC9VKV, if you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Romeo Echo Zulu.
Romeo Echo Zulu, come back with the full call sign, please.
Romeo Echo Zulu, come back with the full call sign, please.
Yeah, good afternoon. Kilo Juliet 4, Romeo Echo Zulu. There's not really anything I can adjust on this radio. It's really old, just the mic game. But just wanted a general idea how you thought it sounded.
It sounds pretty good for out of control. I guess that's what you're saying. We always have control over our radios, and it's amazing, proximity to microphone is the old way that people EQ'd their radio. We didn't have onboard equalization, so it was a matter of how you worked the microphone as to your EQ pattern. And, the closer you work your microphone, the more bottom end builds up and the bassier it gets. To strike balance with it. It's all about striking balance to the mid-range, from the low frequencies to the mid-range, and from the high frequencies to the mid-range. So, like I say, the old way was how you work the microphone. So why don't you give me about 10 seconds on your antenna system, and let me hear you a little bit.
About 10 seconds on your antenna system, and let me hear you a little bit.
Alrighty, I'm seeing a horse fence antenna about 15 feet from ground, maybe not even that high. It's flat top, pointing east and west, and running about 400 watts. And I'm on an original ICOM 706. It's about 25 years old. KJ for REZ, back to you.
Roger. And what was the name again, please?
Roger. And what was the name again, please?
It's Floyd.
And Floyd, your location, please.
Floyd, your location, please.
I'm in upstate South Carolina. The band's dropping out on us.
Yeah, that ain't the only thing. My Milford SDR is taking a hike also, so I got to bring that back up. We do this because of why, I don't know, but Milford has some regulations about how long you can be on before they start, dumping you off, and if you don't do anything, they dump you off for inactivity. Well, anyway, I've got Milford to back up, and looking at your audio, you do have about a 3 dB dynamic range, which is exactly where I would be looking to put you. So you're there already. And the equalization, while you may not be able to control it precisely, does sound very good, Roger.
Like 10 months ago, you and I conversed, and my audio was really pent up, and I did a lot of homework. And this particular radio, there's a filter, the FL103, which cost me $400, but I went ahead and bought it, and it's very rare to find too. Put in this radio, and that did bring it from 2.4 bandwidth to a 2.8. And there's no way to turn it off or on. It's just once you install the filter, that's it. So I was thinking it sounded better.
Oh, yes, sir. You're sounding very good. Now, I might have been hearing a blower come up. Does that radio have a compressor? I'm just curious.
Does that radio have a compressor? I'm just curious.
But it doesn't work. And you are hearing the blower that's inside the radio. It's just, when you key up, it's just super loud. There's not a whole lot I can do. I've got the mic gain really, really low, and my desk is really, really small, so I can't get the microphone away from the radio, if you know what I mean.
Yes, sir. The only possible remedy would be for you to get yourself closer to the microphone to increase your signal-to-noise ratio, your voice to noise. So the closer you can get to that microphone, the better off. Now, you know, the option to that would be to get a swing arm and get that mic on a swing arm, and that way you can get it exactly where you need it, Roger.
You can get it exactly where you need it, Roger.
Roger. Yeah, I know that, and other people have made comments. What's that noise in the background? A big amplifier? It's like, no, that's just my radio. But, all right, Jim, I know there's a lot of people anxious to get with you. I was just curious how I sounded, and you made my day because I spent all that money and I wasn't sure if it actually worked. Because in most cases, changing the filters do not change the audio bandwidth. But in this particular radio, it was supposed to, hence the expense of the filters. So I'll say 73s, and I'll look for my audio on YouTube so I can hear it myself in a couple days. Thanks again, Jim. Appreciate what you do, partner. KJ4REZ.
Roger, Floyd. And the other option to that is some outboard EQ gear. You know, outboard EQ gear that would bring along a little compression and a little equalization also. So sometimes when you do not have those capabilities within your radio, you can get those devices that go external to your radio and be able to bring that radio right up to today. As far as being able to control exactly what you want to do. So just keep that in mind also. So, you know, between a swing arm and some outboard EQ gear, gosh, you'll be doing, you know, just absolutely beautiful. Now you're doing beautiful now, but you know, we can always improve. So, you know, at least you have some options ahead of you if you would consider those. I'll say 73 there, Floyd. Thanks for dropping by, sir. You have a great afternoon, beautiful weekend. This is KC9VKV, the Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
QSO-VLOG net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Whiskey 4, Romeo Zulu, B4FRZ.
There's a Whiskey 4 station. Come back slowly, phonetically with a call sign, please.
There's a Whiskey 4 station. Come back slowly, phonetically with a call sign, please.
Whiskey 4, Romeo India, Papa, Brian in North Carolina on mobile.
Roger, Brian in North Carolina, mobile. And come back one more time with the call sign. I got a little disturbance right there during part of that. Give me your call sign slowly, phonetically again, please.
Right there during part of that. Give me your call sign slowly, phonetically again, please.
Whiskey 4, Romeo India, Papa, W4, RIP. Go ahead.
Roger, Brian. Yes, from last week, I remember that call sign, rest in peace. Somehow that call sign makes an effect on you when you think about it, Roger.
Somehow that call sign makes an effect on you when you think about it, Roger.
Yes, Roger has a knack of people being able to remember it. Yeah, I was just wondering, I didn't want to get here and talk too long, but I wanted to ask you where your website, what's the name of your website so I can go listen to that?
From last week, yes, sir. We have it posted. If you just go to my call sign, Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor. Again, Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, followed by today's date, 6/25/20. Well, shoot, it would be last Friday's date, whatever that was. Last Friday's date, Roger.
Friday's date, whatever that was. Last Friday's date, Roger.
Roger on that. I got you. I appreciate your help here, and you were sounding mighty good in North Carolina. The guy you just talked to, his station sounds real clear and real good on this end. So I hope you have a wonderful afternoon, and thank you again. And God bless you. And Whiskey 4, Romeo India, Papa, we're going to be clear.
Roger, Roger, Brian. Well, that your audio is about 3 dB in dynamic range, which is extremely good, and your audio curve is very understandable. So again, I would just leave everything exactly like it is in the mobile, because you are perfect as far as mobile, because there's a lot of things that you can't do in a mobile that you can do in a bass, and I think we went through some of those last week about, bass can add some compression to make it a little fuller audio, but you can't quite do that in a mobile because you have a pretty high ambient noise level, and if you start running compression with an ambient noise level, pretty soon the ambient noise level overtakes your voice, and it becomes disadvantageous as opposed to advantageous. So anyway, 73 Brian, thanks for chatting by, and this recording will be available in 48 hours at that same place, KC9VKV, followed by today's date, which is 6/25/21. So it's Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, followed by today's date, 6/25/21 for this recording. Roger.
Followed by today's date, 6/25/21 for this recording. Roger.
Whiskey Tango 8 Oscar. Whiskey Tango 8 Oscar.
Listen to last Friday, trying to anyway. So I hope you have a blessing. God bless you, 73s and W4 RIP. We're clear.
Roger, Roger, Brian, 73, sir. Have a good afternoon, beautiful weekend. And there's a WT something out there. WT something, come back slowly, phonetically with your call sign, please.
WT something, come back slowly, phonetically with your call sign, please.
Whiskey Tango 8 Oscar.
Whiskey Tango 8 Oscar. Roger, what's the name there, please?
Whiskey Tango 8 Oscar. Roger, what's the name there, please?
Folks, thanks for coming back. Whiskey Tango 8 Oscar. Name here is Toby, Tango Oscar Bravo Yankee, and we're in Cleveland, Ohio. Over.
Roger, Roger. And Toby, what radio are you running, sir?
Roger, Roger. And Toby, what radio are you running, sir?
We're running an ICOM 7300, and we're trying to test out a stealth antenna that is an end-fed. We're in a condo, and we got it set up in the bedroom, so we're trying to see if it works. What's your QTH, sir? Over.
We're down around Louisville, Kentucky. We're on the Indiana side of the Ohio River, right at Louisville. Roger.
The Indiana side of the Ohio River, right at Louisville. Roger.
Okay, fine business. Thank you very much. Well, we're really glad that our antenna is getting us down to Kentucky. Like I said, this is an indoor end-fed, and it's definitely a stealth antenna. So I appreciate the comeback, and I'll let you get back to your conversation or whoever you're speaking with. I appreciate you getting back to me. Whiskey Tango 8 Oscar, and I'll be clear.
Roger, Toby, don't run off, sir. What we do is to help folks set up their radios, and I would have some advice for you if you would be interested. We have a setup procedure for the 7300 that takes it from a 10 dB dynamic range, 30% average peak modulation, to a 3 dB, 80 to 85% average peak modulation. It starts with you engaging your compressor at a 3. It's a token amount, but it does just what we need it to do.
It's a token amount, but it does just what we need it to do.
Yeah, Toby, you still have a copy, sir?
Yeah, Toby, you still have a copy, sir?
Apparently Toby has gone out of service there. All right, Toby, 73, sir. Have a good afternoon and a great weekend coming up Thank gosh for the weekend. Man, I could use a weekend. This is KC9VKV, the Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
QSO-VLOG net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Victor Echo 3, Romeo, November, Kilo 4, Foxtrot.
Victor Echo 3 station, come back slowly phonetically with a call.
Victor Echo 3 station, come back slowly phonetically with a call.
Yeah, Victor Echo 3, Romeo, November, Kilo. Here's Rick, Jim. Sound good up here. Looks like Kentucky and Ontario are connected.
Roger. And so I'm assuming you are in Ontario. And Rick, what radio are you running, sir?
Ontario. And Rick, what radio are you running, sir?
I've got a 7610 here, Jim. Running probably 500 watts up here. And that's it. Other than a stock SM30 microphone.
Roger that. Well, gosh, we do have a setup procedure that you might find interesting. Your compressor, you must be running up there around 5, 6, something like that. We suggest that you only run that compressor at about at a 3. So you don't ever hear it working at all. That's the whole idea behind adjusting equipment, that you don't hear it working. So we suggest that you run that compressor at a 3. It's a token amount, but it does exactly what we're looking for it to do, Roger.
Token amount, but it does exactly what we're looking for it to do, Roger.
Right now, I think, yeah, it's on 3 right now.
Roger. Well, you must be hot into your ALC. Check your ALC. Go to ALC with mic gain control, and as you are speaking rapidly, so what, to bring your ALC level up to where you can see what it's doing, adjust the mic level to where your ALC reading is mid-scale to 2/3.
The mic level to where your ALC reading is mid-scale to 2/3.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll give you a little audio, and I actually knocked my mic gain down here 25. How's that sound?
Roger, still it's coming up. Now, the idea, the way to check that is just give me a dead key for about 4 seconds, and let's see what happens here. Just a dead key for 4, and let's see what happens.
Here, just a dead key for 4, and let's see what happens.
There's the dead key. VE3 RNG.
Roger, so I'm getting a -3 level off of a dead key, so I think maybe we might want to compromise on that compressor and take it down to a 2, because you don't want a bunch of garbage trying to suck up between words and all that. So I would try that at a 2, and then go back and check your ALC level at a 2, and then we'll do another dead key and see what happens, Roger.
And then we'll do another dead key and see what happens, Roger.
Okay, I've got it set it at 2 there, and here's a dead key, Jim. And there's my audio, VE3 RNG.
Roger, gosh, it went to a -1, which is 2 dB hotter than what it was before. Just out of curiosity, can you turn your compressor off, and let's see what happens?
Just out of curiosity, can you turn compressor off, and let's see what happens?
Okay, compression's off. ALC is maybe just about a quarter now.
Okay, and a dead key?
Okay, and a dead key?
Okay, here's a dead key. And back.
Yeah, that was -3. I think that's better. You know, the thing is, a compressor is a very slow attack, slow release device, so there's only so much you can get out of it. As far as, fattening the voice up till it starts sucking up trash between words. So I think that too maybe better, you know. I think if you have some onboard EQ equipment, maybe a couple of clicks more treble EQ would also help you as far as intelligibility, Roger.
Help you as far as intelligibility, Roger.
Yeah, okay, very good. I've had the different settings for my compression, my gain, and I was watching the scope before, and in order to, I see it on my, there used to be just a slight bit on my, on the amplifier, very sensitive, and I see it's a very nice slow attack now.
Yeah, Roger, yeah. I think a 2 probably would do well in a couple of clicks of top-end treble EQ. And always go back to your ALC whenever you make an adjustment in your audio chain to be sure that you're still mid-scale to 2/3 on your ALC. That's, that's the Bible for that radio is your ALC. It'll tell you precisely what that radio is doing better than your buddy down the street, Roger.
That radio is doing better than your buddy down the street, Roger.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, I've had a lot of the ICOMs over there, 761, 765s, and I even had the 781 here over the years, and just trying to get more familiar with this one. Of course, now I got the Ameritron 1306, and it follows the radio. At one time we used to have to tune the radio, tune the amp, and tune the tuner, and now you just push a button and say, "Hello, Jim."
Oh, Roger that. Yes, sir. That's true. Come back and tell me about your antenna system for about 10 seconds. So let me try another path, see if I can get a little bit better path, Roger.
So let me try another path, see if I can get a little bit better path, Roger.
Yeah. Victor, CE3, RNK. And the antenna here is a sloper. I've got the one south tower, which is 50-foot south. The one south tower, which is 50-foot self-support. It has a lot of the VHF, UHF, my 6-meter on it. And I had it gives me a wavelength on 40 and fairly omni coverage, being a full wave, and I get a little gain, a full wave, and I get a little gain off of it. Good high angle irradiation. Back to you, Jim.
Yes, sir. I've copied you a little bit on my local antenna, and my local radio is a little fuller frequency response than the SDRs, and so you have some nice low frequency content. That's why I would suggest that you crank in a couple of clicks of more treble EQ to balance. Also, I would suggest that you get a foam windscreen for your microphone that would take out any transients that might come along. You don't notice those too much, except when you start to have the work on those low frequencies. Those are the areas where your transients and plosives and stuff come into play. So a foam windscreen on that mic would just solve all those problems.
So a foam windscreen on that mic would just solve all those problems.
Very good. Okay, well, I appreciate it, Jim. I heard you on there. I've heard you on there quite a few times, but usually the band's quite busy, and I hear different stations coming in. So I just figure I'll try one of these days, and it's good meeting up with you.
Yes, sir. And you're really hot into Milford, PA. I usually monitor I have 4 internet SDRs that come up in my audio selection along with my local receiver audio. So in a quarter of a second or half a second, I can run through the 4 SDRs on my local receiver and find out which one's the hottest, least noise. And so Milford is quite often a go-to SDR. Like I say, the only drawback to the internet SDRs is they usually roll out at about 300 cycles. So if you're making critical audio adjustments, I want to try to get you in my local antennas that has a much better audio frequency response down to 100 cycles, and my audio monitor system goes down there, so I can tell precisely what's going on, Roger.
Goes down there, so I can tell precisely what's going on, Roger.
Okay, yeah, I do that occasionally here when I have some noise problems, and I usually dial up one of the SDRs just as a backup, and it comes in handy. I'm up to actually 5 on treble here now. I'm up to actually 5 on treble here now.
Roger, that max out. Yeah, that's max out for your 7610. Now, I have one other thing that you might check out, and this, you have a button called Quick.
Yes, I do.
Okay, and Quick will take you to Drive.
And my drive is at 60%.
Yes, sir. That's exactly where you need to be. So you're good to go. Get the Gorilla Tape out and taper down.
You're good to go. Get the Gorilla Tape out and taper down.
Very good. Okay. Good stuff. Well, nice meeting you, Jim. I appreciate any help there. It's nice to keep on picking things apart and keep it all hunky-dory. 7 3s. I'll let you go there. I think I just heard another station come in there to keeps you out of trouble. Busy boy. KC9VKV VE3 RNK.
RNQ, is that a Roger?
RNQ, is that a Roger?
RNK, Romeo November Kilo.
Yes, sir. And there's somebody tuning up on the frequency. Not polite to tune up on an active frequency. Go at least 4K off. One way or the other, tune up. Do not tune up on an active frequency. Let's see. And so, Rick, the audio from our QSO today will be available on YouTube in the next couple of days. Just go to YouTube and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, followed by today's date, 6/25/21. That will take you directly to this recording, Roger.
5/21. That will take you directly to this recording, Roger.
Very good, Jim. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes, sir, Rick. 73, sir. Have a great afternoon, beautiful weekend. This is the Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG net. My name is Jim, and if you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
My name is Jim, and if you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Okay, 4 Lima,
I think there was a K4 station. K4 station, come back slowly, phonetically with your call sign.
K4 station, come back slowly, phonetically with your call sign.
Yeah, we just put the carrier in there. KC9VKV, this is Kilowatt 4, Lima, Japan Echo, K4LJE, Jim in North Carolina. Good afternoon, Jim.
Jim, how you doing, sir? Gosh, come back and give me 10 seconds on something of your choice, and let me look for a better path, Roger, Roger.
Something of your choice, and let me look for a better path, Roger, Roger.
Okay, I'm going to touch that with a 10-foot pole. Touch that with a 10-foot pole. Yes, indeed. Hello there, Jim. This afternoon, just haven't been on here for quite a while. K9VKV,
I'm in neither. I'm across the river from Louisville. I'm in Indiana, just across the Ohio River, right at Louisville. Roger?
Indiana, just across the Ohio River, right at Louisville. Roger?
Back home again in Indiana. Yes, indeed. Yeah, we'll get out today. I haven't had this rig on the air for quite a while. This is for quite a while. I've got it today. Just want to make sure this rig is still working. It's a TS-140 Kenwood, 100 watts. So with a little illegally wound whip.
Roger, Jim, today is not a good day for propagation. I'm only copying you about 2 dB above my above the Milford PA SDR noise level, about 2 dB above the Milford SDR level. So it's not a good day. But just to let you know, I was listening occasionally back through some of my stuff, and I ran across our QSO from times past, where you gave me a little dissertation on I forget what it was, but I was checking out my my 10-foot vertical magloop antenna, and it was just an exceptional test that we went from about a 15 over to take you right out to noise, and then come back the other side back to a 15 over. Roger?
Noise, and then come back the other side back to a 15 over. Roger?
Yeah, Roger. Well, how about that? Well, I think you didn't forget about me, did you?
No, sir. No, sir. But gosh, I thought you forgot about me. It's been quite a while. Roger, Roger. Things must be very active in Eden, North Carolina.
Things must be very active in Eden, North Carolina.
Well, we've been working a lot during the evening. Getting home a little bit late. And a lot going on. Now, playing country and bluegrass and gospel music in a band. So we've been real busy the last little while there. Yes, indeed. Well, I did want to say hello to you, and I won't keep you. I know you're busy here. A lot of people waiting out there. So I will say bye for now. 7-3. Thank you so very much for sticking with me. KC9VKV, K4LJB.
Roger, Jim. Just out of curiosity, which radio are you running today?
Jim, just out of curiosity, which radio are you running today?
We're running the TS-140 Sugar, Kenwood TS-140 Sugar, the Mobile. Roger?
Roger, Jim. TS-140 Sugar. All right. I got to keep all my records straight. 73 to you, sir. Don't be such a stranger. Drop by, gosh, more often, Roger.
Sir, don't be such a stranger. Drop by, more often, Roger.
Roger, will do. Will do. Thank you much. 7-3, God bless. K4LJE in the wonderful land of Eden, North Carolina. Clear.
And this is KC9VKV, the Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
VLOG net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Kilo Charlie 4, Kilo Charlie Golf.
There's a Kilo Charlie 4 station. Come back slowly, phonetically with your call sign, please.
Come back slowly, phonetically.
This is Kilo Charlie 4, Romeo Charlie Golf.
Is that Romeo Charlie Golf, the last phonetics of Romeo Charlie Golf? Roger, Romeo Charlie Golf, and what's the name there?
Romeo Charlie Golf, and what's the name there?
Copy, Sterling, Virginia, and gosh, I got to get back on my Milford SDR. Hang on here just a second. This won't take but 10 hours. No, it should be just momentarily back online here. They're hopefully get tired of kicking me off. All right, I got Milford back now. And Don, what radio are you running today, sir?
What radio are you running today, sir?
We're running a Kenwood Window Sam 480 barefoot at a good watt using a dipole about 60 feet in the air.
Alrighty, we have a setup procedure for that radio if you might be interested. It starts with engaging your compressor at a 3. It's a token amount. You'll never hear it on the air. You'll never hear it working, but it does exactly what we need it to do. So if you would be interested in the setup procedure, it starts again with the compressor engaged at a 3. Roger?
That's engaged at a 3. Roger.
Kilo Charlie 4, Romeo Charlie Golf, back Kilo Charlie 9er, Victor Kilo Victor. Got the compressor set at 0303. Back to you.
Roger. Now that's 3 out of 10. Is that a Roger on that compressor?
That's 3 out of 10. Is that a Roger on that compressor?
QSL.
Roger, Roger. All right, now move to your ALC meter with mic gain in hand, and as you speak fairly rapidly, 100, 200, 300. I want you to adjust your ALC to mid-scale to 2/3 by way of mic gain manipulation. So just go to your ALC meter with mic gain in hand and adjust the mic gain until your ALC meter is running mid-scale to 2/3. Roger?
ALC meter is running mid-scale to 2/3. Roger?
QSL. Adjusting now, adjusting now, adjusting now. Back to you.
Okay, so you got that running mid-scale to 2/3, Roger?
Okay, so you got that running mid-scale to 2/3, Roger?
Okay, so now give me about, do you know where your onboard equalization page is?
Your onboard equalization page is?
Negative. I don't have the manual on that at this time.
Roger, Don. Okay, note to self. When you do, you can Google that and get the information you need. And when you find out where your EQ is, go ahead and crank in, I would go 2 clicks additional treble boost from where you are. 2 clicks additional treble boost from wherever your treble EQ is at the moment. Roger?
Treble boost from wherever your treble EQ is at the moment. Roger?
QSL. Thank you so much for the help today and 70. This is Kilo Charlie 4, Romeo Charlie Golf, and with Kilo 9er, Victor Kilo Victor.
Roger, Don. Now also, you're running a hand mic. Is that a Roger?
Roger, Don. Now also, you're running a hand mic. Is that a Roger?
QSL, 10-wood mic.
Okay, sir, what I want you to do, the best way to operate that mic is pull it to the corner of your mouth and talk across it. Do not talk directly into it. Pull it to the side of your mouth, to the corner of your lips, and talk across it. Roger?
Side of your mouth to the corner of your lips and talk across it. Roger?
QSL, we're doing that now. Back to you.
Yes, sir, that solves a bunch of mouth noises and pops and plosives and all kinds of stuff. You're working the mic to the side across it as opposed to directly into it. And so that, and then when you can crank in that additional treble EQ, I think you'll be in good shape, Roger.
Can crank in that additional treble EQ, I think you'll be in good shape, Roger.
Roger. Thank you, and I appreciate all the help. And 73.
Roger, Don. One more time, though, now that I got a pretty good copy on you, what is the radio that you're running?
Now that I got a pretty good copy on you, what is the radio that you're running?
Roger. This is a Tango Sam 480. Tango Sam 480, Kenwood brand. Back to you.
Roger, TS 480. That's a Roger?
Roger, TS 480. That's a Roger?
QSL.
Oh gosh, Don, we've got excellent propagation right now. Why don't you tell me in 10 seconds or so what you like best about your radio so we get a nice recording?
Seconds or so, what you liked about your radio so we get a nice recording.
Roger. Kilo Charlie 4 Romeo Charlie Golf for ID. Kenwood Tango Sam 480. Thing that I like most about it is that it has auto tuner, being that I do not use an amplifier. Back to Kilo Charlie Niner Victor, Kilo Victor.
Roger, Don, got you fine there. And if you want to hear your radio, if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9, Victor, Kilo Victor, followed by today's date, 6/25/21, it will take you directly to this recording and give us a couple of days to get it uploaded. We usually get it uploaded a lot sooner, but in case things really get busy, we want a little squirm room there. So 2 days on the outside, Roger?
A little squirm room there, so 2 days on the outside, Roger?
Roger. Appreciate all the help. 73.
Roger, Don 73 to you, sir. This is KC9VKV. My name is Jim, and this is the Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
QSO-VLOG net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout. K0WIX.
The K0 station, come back slowly phonetically with the call sign.
The K0 station, come back slowly phonetically with the call sign.
KC9VKV, you have a copy on Kilo Bravo 3 Delta Alpha Victor.
K0WIX. Name here is David.
Other station calling, stand by. I'm working K0WIX. David, what's your location, sir?
WIX. David, what's your location, sir?
We're located in southwest Florham, Missouri, pretty close to Joplin, Missouri. I've talked to you before. It's been a long time ago, and of course we changed the radio, so I just heard you and thought better try this radio out.
Yes, sir, David. What radio is that, sir?
Yes, sir, David. What radio is that, sir?
We're running a Yaesu FTDX10.
FTDX10. Okay, if you'd be interested in our setup procedure, it starts with engaging the compressor at a 3 token amount, but it does precisely what we need it to do. So if you're interested, you get that compressor in line and at a 3 level. Roger?
That's compressor in line and at a 3 level. Roger?
Alrighty, we are at a 3 on the compressor. Over.
Yes, sir. Now move to your ALC meter with mic gain in hand, and as you speak fairly rapidly, 100, 200, 300, so you can see what the ALC meter is doing. With mic gain in hand, adjust the ALC meter for mid-scale to 2/3. Mid-scale to 2/3 by way of mic gain manipulation. Roger?
Mid-scale to 2/3 by way of mic gain manipulation. Roger?
Okay, 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 500.
Alrighty, so you got that mid-scale to 2/3, Roger?
Right there.
Alrighty, so you got that mid-scale to 2/3, Roger?
We are pretty much exactly 2/3.
Excellent. Now, if you would, give me about 10 seconds and tell me about your antenna system, Roger?
Seconds and tell me about your antenna system, Roger?
Roger. Well, my antenna is a simple dipole up at it's inverted V, acting as it's 25 foot. The ends are at 10 foot off the ground. It's 80 meter plus we got 40 meter leg. And it's out quite a distance from the house, but we live out on a farm and it's wide open airspace. Over.
Roger that. Now, do you know where your equalization is on that radio? Do you know how to get to your equalization on that radio?
On that radio. Do you know how to get to your equalization on that radio?
Yes, I do, and we can get there. Just give me 1 second.
Alrighty, let you get to the EQ. What we want to do is crank in about 3 clicks more top-end EQ, about 3 clicks more treble EQ boost from wherever you are, plus 3 clicks more treble boost than where you are.
Plus 3 clicks boost than where you are.
Okay, on this radio, you got to get in, you got to turn it on, and the EQ is when you got to turn it on for when you have the processor on. So I'm at that point, so I'm going to go on the EQ3, which we would be setting up for the high end.
Alrighty, have you done that?
Alrighty, have you done that?
I'm at that point, and let's see, and if we want to click in a little bit more, that's about 3 turns up on the high end, over.
Roger. How much treble EQ do you have on that radio past where you are now?
How much treble EQ do you have on that radio past where you are now?
I'm not for sure what we're doing. We're just an 1800 hertz frequency at this time. We set the level.
I just went to my local antenna. I've got a much better copy on you now on my local antenna. What kind of equalizer do you have? Is it a 3-band? Is it a parametric or what?
Yes, it's a parametric.
All right, so what we want to do is be up around 2500, 2.5K. Do you see anything right at that on the upper side, 2.5K, 2.8, somewhere in there?
Okay, we've got it set at 2500 hertz, and it is at a level of 3.
Alrighty, and add a couple of more clicks, and let's see what that happens.
Okay, we went up to from a 3 to a 6. It's got quite a bit of adjustment on that, over.
Roger, can you go any higher than that, like 27 or so, 28?
Yeah, I'm at 2700 hertz there, and of course the level stays at a 6 because that's where I set it, but I did raise it to 2700 hertz.
Alrighty, and if you have some more, a couple of more clicks, boost, maybe 3. Let's just go out on a limb here. 3 clicks hotter than where you are at the moment. Let me hear that.
Okay, we went to 10 level, which would have been 4 clicks, and this is David K0WIX.
Alrighty, David, and now I want you to tell me in 10 to 12 seconds or 15 seconds things you like best about that radio.
Well, this radio is what I probably like the most of all receivers I have is DNR works absolute fantastic. And get up 3 o'clock in the morning, there's a lot of lightning. It really works on the lightning. And just for information, microphone is the PR781. Over.
Roger that. Sounded pretty good. Now I want you to go back to your ALC and double check that you're still mid-range to 2/3. After you make any adjustments in the audio chain, you should always go back to your ALC and double check that you're still mid-range to 2/3. Roger?
Okay, we're checking that. We're really at the top of the, what you would call the grain scale. So I rode that back to 30%, and that looks a little bit better there. It's not quite so full scale. So we're running about 2/3, maybe 75%.
Yes, sir. Now, and also your bandpass, you're running 100 to 2900, 100 to 2900 bandpass. Is that a Roger?
I believe that is correct.
Double check that to be sure, because that's really important. You want to run that radio at 100 to 2900, Roger?
Yeah, we are setting at 100 to 2900. Over.
Excellent, excellent, because there's no reason to run that radio anything less than that. What happens is when you go to those lesser band passes, you start rolling off the top and the bottom, but you start rolling off the top, which is more critical, and you start losing the high-frequency content of the audio, and that's where all the intelligibility is, or mostly the definition is up in the upper range. So by running 100 to 2900, you're doing as best you can as far as keeping your articulation maximum. Roger?
Yeah, well, I fully understand that part. Well, we hope to get it sounding pretty decent.
I think you have, sir. I would get the Gorilla Tape out and tape her down, sir. And if you want to hear your radio, if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor, followed by today's date, 6/25/21, that will take you to this recording and give us a couple of days to get it uploaded. A lot of times we get it sooner than that, but outside 2 days. Roger?
Roger. Well, I sure appreciate you taking time and sitting here with me and giving us a talk to a little bit, and I sure appreciate it. 73, have a wonderful day from K0WIS.
Roger, Roger, David, 73 there, sir, and have a good afternoon and a beautiful weekend. This is Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor, the Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
9 Victor Kilo Victor KB3 DAV. Have a copy?
KB3 station, come back slowly phonetically with your call sign.
How about it? You have a copy on Kilo Bravo 3 Delta Alpha Victor?
Roger, KB3, come back one more time slowly phonetically with your call sign, please.
Roger, KB3, come back one more time slowly phonetically with your call sign, please.
Yeah, this is Kilo Bravo 3 Delta Alpha Victor.
Delta Alpha Victor, Roger, Roger, and what's the name there?
Delta Alpha Victor, Roger, Roger, and what's the name there?
Yeah, the first name is Ken Kilo Echo November.
Roger, Ken, and where are you located, sir?
Roger, Ken, where are you located, sir?
Yes, I'm located in Washington, PA, about 35 miles south of Pittsburgh.
Roger, and what radio are you running today, sir?
Roger, and what radio are you running today, sir?
Yes, I'm running a FT, the FT991 Alpha.
991 Alpha, Roger, Roger. Well, if you'd be interested in our setup procedure, it starts with you engaging your compressor at a 3 token amount, but it does exactly what we need it to do because we're trying to achieve a 3 dB audio dynamic range at the end with an 80 to 85% average peak modulation at that point. So the tune-up procedure starts with you engaging your compressor at a 3, Roger?
Starts with you engaging your compressor at a 3, Roger?
Okay, roger that. I wrote that down, but I looked in my manual and I don't see anything pertaining to the compressor unless they're rewording it.
Roger. Welcome, processor. Compressor processor. Some call it one, some call it the other. Tomato, compressor or a processor. Roger?
Compressor or a processor. Roger?
Okay, then that makes sense now. Yeah, so engage it at a 3. Why is there notches that I can adjust it to on this? Because I never did this before.
Yes, sir. There should be a scale for you to adjust the input level control of your processor, 0 to 10 or 0 to 100. And we're looking for just a third of that operation as far as the compressor is concerned. So if it's a 0 to 10, you want it at a 3. If it's a 0 to 100, you want it at 30, Roger?
At a 3. If it's a 0 to 100, you want it at 30, Roger?
Okay, roger that. Okay. Now, what's the second step?
All right, well, after you get your compressor engaged at a 3, then you move to your ALC meter with mic gain in hand, and you speak fairly rapidly, 100, 200, 300, so you can see what the ALC meter is doing. You want to adjust the ALC meter to run mid-scale to 2/3 by way of your mic gain control. Mid-scale to 2/3 on the ALC meter by way of mic gain manipulation.
Mid-scale to 2/3 on the ALC meter by way of mic gain manipulation.
Okay, I wrote that down. So, are there any more steps?
Yes, sir. Then we go to EQ, and I want you to crank in 2 more clicks treble EQ from where you are. Plus 2 treble EQ from wherever you are at the moment on that control, Roger?
EQ from wherever you are at the moment on that control, Roger?
I go 2 more clicks after I adjust it to 2/3 on the mic gain control. I hit it 2 more times, correct?
No, sir. No, sir. We're talking about EQ now. We've done our mid-scale to 2/3 adjustment by way of mic gain control for your ALC meter. Now we move to your EQ control, and I want you to crank in 2 clicks additional treble EQ on your EQ control. Roger?
Treble EQ on your EQ control. Roger?
Okay, I do wear hearing aids, so I'm having a little difficulty receiving. And if you speak too rapidly, I'll miss a half of what you're saying. So move 2 clicks on what meter?
On your equalization. You have onboard equalization. You will go to that, and you will adjust the treble equalization plus 2 clicks from where it is. Roger?
Plus 2 clicks from where it is. Roger?
Okay, I got the 2 clicks on the treble, but I didn't copy as to where I'm supposed to be doing this.
That's on your equalization, on your inboard equalization for that radio. Consult your book as to how to get to your onboard equalization. Roger?
How to get to your onboard equalization. Roger?
Still not picking that up. I'm having trouble copying what you're saying there, but say it slowly, or I'm trying to copy it so I can be initial adjustments, but I'm still not picking up as to what you're saying on that 1 step 2 clicks on the treble.
Roger, Ken. Well, let's just call it, for the moment, close enough. You've got notes on the compressor processor as far as the adjustment on that, and you have notes on the ALC. So those 2 things, and we'll work out the other part maybe next week if we have, better conditions. Roger?
Maybe next week if we have, better conditions. Roger?
Okay, so just go ahead and adjust the compressor processor and gauge it at 3, and then the ALC meter, adjust it to 2/3 the mic gain and speaking rapidly, and then I don't know what the 3rd step is.
Yeah, that's the EQ. Don't worry about EQ or equalization now. Don't worry about the equalization. Just those 2 things will help you immensely. So, when you're doing your ALC, obviously you have to be in the transmit mode, and one hand is on the mic gain control to adjust the ALC meter to where it's running mid-scale to 2/3. Roger?
The ALC meter to where it's running mid-scale to 2/3. Roger?
Okay, Roger. Okay, let's see. Your personal information, let's see. I think I have it. I'm not sure though.
It's Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor KC9VKV. Name is Jim. Juliet India Mike, and we are located just across from Louisville, Kentucky, on the Indiana side of the Ohio River, right at Louisville, Kentucky. Roger?
The side of the Ohio River, right at Louisville, Kentucky. Roger?
Okay, QSO on that. And your first name?
Jim, Juliet India Mike, and this is the QSO-VLOG net.
Jim, Juliet India Mike, and this is the QSO-VLOG net.
Okay, Roger. And now you say you're on the air every Friday at what time?
Every Friday from 3:30 till 5. Every Friday, 3:30 till 5. And if you want to hear your radio at this point, if you go to YouTube and do a call in a search for Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, followed by today's date, 6/25/21, that will take you directly to this recording. Give us 48 hours to get it uploaded.
This recording, give us 48 hours to get it uploaded.
Okay, QSL. All right, thank you, Jim. I appreciate your time and effort, but the conditions just aren't clear enough for me to make out what you're saying. But I am picking out, bits and pieces of it. It's weaving in and out, but I appreciate it. And I appreciate the contact and making, it's been a pleasure making your association here. So, KC9 Victor, Kilo Victor, this is KB3DAV, QRSID. Have a good weekend and a good afternoon.
Roger, Roger, Ken. Likewise, sir. 73. This is the Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
QSO-VLOG net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Whiskey 8, Kilowatt Delta 8 Golf, Kilowatt Radio.
Whiskey 8 station, come back with your call sign again, please.
Whiskey India Lima.
Whiskey 8 station, come back with your call sign again, please.
There was a Whiskey 8 station. Come back slowly with your call sign, please.
Whiskey 8 station. Come back slowly with your call sign, please.
Okay, very well. Whiskey 8, Whiskey India Lima. W8 WIL.
Roger, Roger, WIL. The name there, please.
Roger, Roger, WIL. The name there, please.
His name here is Gene, Golf Echo November Echo. It's Donald Eugene, but everyone calls me Gene. I spoke with you, I think on the 11th, on a different rig, on a 7100. I'm currently on a 7300 here.
Roger, Jane. What's your location, sir?
Roger, Jane. What's your location, sir?
I am in West Virginia, north central West Virginia, about 50 miles from the Pennsylvania border.
Roger, and you're running a 7300. Is that a Roger?
Roger, and you're running a 7300. Is that a Roger?
That's what I'm running today. Yes, sir. That's what I'm running now, Jim. When I spoke with you on the 11th, I was running my 7100. But today, I'm running the 7300.
Roger, okay. And if you're interested in our setup procedure, it starts with engaging that compressor at a 3. Compressor processor on and add a 3. Roger, Roger.
Compressor processor on and add a 3. Roger, Roger.
Roger. Let me see if that's where I am here. Hang on. Yes.
I'm going about two-thirds of
the 100, 200, 300. I'm going about two-thirds of the way on that aspect of it.
Okay, so your compressor processor's on at a 3, and you just checked your ALC, and you're about two-thirds on your ALC meter. Is that a Roger?
About two-thirds on your ALC meter. Roger?
That's correct, Jim. Sure am. About the only thing I need for you to do, I guess, unless you want me to use more compression or less, would be to set up the EQ.
Yeah, I think maybe you could do, what mic are you running again?
Yeah, I think maybe you could do, what mic are you running again?
I'm running the SM6 microphone. I've had it for about 30 years. SM6 microphone, the Heil mic.
Roger, Roger. Okay, let's go to EQ on that 7300, and tell me what your treble and bass EQ readings are at the moment.
And tell me what your treble and bass EQ readings are at the moment.
Okay, hang on just a minute. EQ, transmit treble is +3, and transmit bass is +1. And I'm running 100 2900 bandwidth, which would be wide for an ICOM.
Yeah, Roger. Yes, that's you want to do that 100 to 2900. No reason to run that radio in any other mode than 100 to 2900. As far as EQ, I would clank one more click treble EQ. One additional click treble EQ from where you are, Roger.
One additional click treble EQ from where you are, Roger.
Okay, Jim, there it is. I went to, my treble is +4 and my bass is +1, as you requested, and all the other aspects is +3 on the, 3 on the compressor, and the 2/3 mic gain.
Yes, sir. Well, get the Gorilla Tape and taper down, sir. I think you're right there. Your dynamic range is 3 dB, which is what we're looking for. So your average percent of peak modulation is 80 to 85%, but it's super clean. The pristine, the words are. You know, if you would continue on that compression to where we're at 2 dB dynamic range, you would start to be blurry. So we're at 3 dB, so you've got room for the words to live and for folks to be able to perceive those words very clearly. Roger?
Roger, Jim. Well, I have it set up exactly the way you...
And the EQ is, like I say, +4 on the treble, +1 on the bass. And this is a little desk mic. I'm sure you're familiar with the old SM6. I would think you would be.
They had the SM6A and the SM8 out mic at the time. We're going back in the 90s.
Roger that. Roger that. Well, I think it's all just perfect there. You know, matter of fact, not only do the Gorilla Tape, but put some super glue on stuff. Make sure it don't move.
Glue on stuff. Make sure it don't move.
Oh, I won't. Well, actually, the only thing I changed was I put one more plus on the treble. Everything else I had pretty well set. I'm the guy that listens to myself in a dummy load in another rig, and I think we had that discussion back on the 11th when I was running the 7100 with this microphone, by the way. And, well, okay, I appreciate it. I'll just lock her down. By the way, are you listening to me on your antenna, or you're listening to me someplace else?
I'm listening to you on Milford PA SDR. I've got you about 15 over on Milford. On my local antenna, you're only about 6 over, and so I need a little bit better signal than that to do EQ. So I'm making allowances for Milford's roll-off at 300 cycles. Roger?
A roll-off at 300 cycles. Roger?
Yeah, I was thinking Milford rolled off at about 300. Yeah, and I know you probably have your antennas probably at least 2800 or even 3. So, okay, I'll let you go, and you might have time to pick someone else up there. It's 4:53, and I will. In the next few more days, I'll get on the internet and see how this sounds. I appreciate it. So 7-3 to you, Jim, and you're doing a fine job. W8WIL.
Roger, Jane, and just FYI, just for the next few days, if you would, I would run that radio in the ALC mode, so I can look at my ALC, because you might, that last transmission, you were a little, just slightly hot, so just watch your ALC for the next few days and see where everything's running, Roger.
And see where everything's running, Roger.
Okay, Jim. Yeah. Oh, I got the mic a little closer. Yeah, I'm full scale on the ALC now. I see that now. Now that I've lowered my voice, and it seems to be about 2/3. But now when I get up like that, I understand what you're talking about. So I may have to turn the mic gain down slightly if I, get a little, start talking a little louder. I understand. Yeah, I got it on 30% right now. I might have to drop it down to 20, 25 if I, start speaking in a little louder tone of voice than I normally would, like I am right now, which is my normal tone. But okay, thank you. I will keep an eye on the ALC. 7-3, buddy, and enjoyed it. W8WIL.
Roger, Jane. And, the actual volume of the microphone is inconsequential. It doesn't matter what the numbers of the mic gain control say. It's all how the mic gain control affects the ALC. So the ALC is the thing that you want to look at. It's the Bible. Mic gain control is just how to get there. So 73 Jane, have a great afternoon, beautiful weekend. Thanks for dropping by. If you get a chance, join us next Friday. Between then, if you want to hear your radio, if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for KC9VKV, followed by today's date, 6/25/21, it will take you directly to this recording. 73 Jane, catch you later. This is KC9VKV, Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG.net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
QSO-VLOG.net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Kilowatt Delta 8 Golf, Kilowatt Romeo, Charlie 1 Delta.
There's a Kilowatt Delta 8 station. Come back slowly, phonetically, with the call sign, please.
Kilowatt Delta 8 station. Come back slowly, phonetically, with the call sign, please.
All right. The call is Kilowatt Delta 8 Golf, Kilowatt Romeo.
Golf Kilowatt Romeo, and what's the name?
Golf Kilowatt Romeo, and what's the name?
The name here is Brent Bravo Romeo Echo November Tango. I'm located in West Virginia, QSL.
Alrighty, Brent in West Virginia. And what radio are you running, sir?
Brent in West Virginia. And what radio are you running, sir?
I'm running it's an Icon 7300. The ALC's running, it's about 3/4 scale, compressors on 3. But I do most of my EQ is...
Okay, I was just looking around for a better path. What did you say about your EQ?
Okay, I was just looking on for a better path. What did you say about your EQ?
I'm running an outboard EQ for most of it because my radio room is noisy, so I run a noise gate.
Roger that. Well, you're pretty thin on the bottom end. I would. Are you running? You're not running EQ internally, right? You're running everything outboard.
You're not running EQ internally, right? You're running everything outboard.
Pretty much, yes.
Okay. You really need more bottom end. I would say +4 clicks at 100 cycles for sure. And let's look at you at that, Roger.
For sure, and let's look at you at that, Roger.
Okay, there I added some bottom end back into it. There was about 4 clicks.
Okay, so what kind of EQ are you running there? I mean, what kind of device? What is it, 8-band?
What kind of EQ are you running there? I mean, what kind of device? What is it, 8-band?
Outboard EQ, 8-band EQ. I don't use the compression on the EQ. I use the compression in the radio, and I use the noise gate, basically.
Okay, so you're running the compressor, internal compressor at 3 on the 7300, Roger?
At 3 on the 7300, Roger?
Yes, QSL.
Okay, now let's go to your EQ. It starts at 50, 100, 200 like that, or what?
50, 100, 200 like that, or what?
80, 160, 250, 500, 900, 1500, 2500, and 3200.
Okay, on the bottom end, let's see, we want to... what's your curve at the moment on the bottom end? Say from 500 cycles down, what's your curve?
Say from 500 cycles down, what's your curve?
80 is at +6 dB, 160 at 2 dB, 250 hertz is at 4 dB, and 500 hertz is at 0 flat.
Yes, sir. Okay, 500 is correct. We want to keep those mid-range 500 to 1K, 1.2K. All that should be flat, because the whole idea about equalization is balance between the bass to the treble, or bass to the mid-range and treble to the mid-range. So what we want to do here is maybe try to crank in a little more bottom end on the EQ. So you were giving me numbers. Were those +4s or -4s, or you need to state whether it's a boost or a cut on those EQs below 500 cycles. Give them to me again and let me know whether they're boosts or cuts.
500 cycles. Give them to me again and let me know whether they're boosts or cuts.
All right, 80 hertz is +6. 160 hertz is +3. 250 hertz is also +3, and 500 hertz is 0.
250, bring it down to -4.
Yeah, what was that, 250?
I'm running the same box on the 7300.
It is at +3.
Gosh, you got a lot of bass boost, but it's not showing up. Are you sure that your internal EQ is flat? Sounds like you may be running some internal EQ that's rolling off the bass. I'm not real sure. Can you check that real quick and tell me what your internal EQ treble and bass readings are?
Tell me what your internal EQ treble and bass readings are.
They are 0 and 0 flat.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's amazing. Your mic is so thin, even with all the boost in the EQ chain. I don't not really know what to do about that, but let's go at 250 cycles, and that's +4 right now?
Let's go at 250 cycles, and that's 4 right now?
+3.
All right, take that up to about a +6. Let me hear you at a +6 on that control.
+6. Let me hear you at a +6 on that control.
All right, 250 hertz is +6.
All right, let's see. What's the one below that, just below 250? What's that one?
Let's see. What's the one below that, just below 250? What's that one?
160 hertz is +3.
Okay, take that to +6.
Okay, take that to +6.
All right, it is also at +6. To make 80, 160, and 250 all +6.
Wow, it's not really making much difference. Are you sure that you have all that stuff engaged? That your equalizer is engaged?
Engaged. That your equalizer is engaged.
Yes.
I have a comment.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah, very good. Hey, Bill, or Jim, it's Vito up in Toronto. I run the UR6 as well with the 7300. Over.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Good.
Yeah, that other station, are you copying me using the UR6? Do you copy my station?
Yes, I do. Roger, roger.
Okay, I have hertz at +6, and I have 160 at +2, and I have 250 at about -5, 500 hertz at about -2, 900 hertz at +2, and the rest at +6. However, you have to complement it a little bit with the EQ on the 7300. Over.
Okay, yeah, I just went through and set it to, let's see here, what you had, and I need more mic gain now. Let's see here. All right, I'm back up to about three-quarter scale now.
Okay, but change your EQ on the radio, no compression, but put bass at +4 and treble at +5 on the 7300.
Okay, I have it set up just yours.
I don't have your signal kind of dropped on me a little bit, but let me hear some more.
Okay, 1, 2. I'm running. We'll just go across the antenna setup. I'm running a fan dive. It's inverted V.
Apex is about 45 feet. It comes down to 23 feet down at the lowest point of it. I'm feeding it with LMR 400 QSL.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'm going to pass it back to Jim because Jim wants to work with you. But if you want a little bit more afterwards, I'm good on QRZ. You can look me up. It's VA3VMD. And all the settings and graphs are up on my QRZ page. So, but go ahead, finish it off with Jim and see where you can get at.
Hello, Brent. You got a copy there, buddy?
Oh, yeah. Yes, I'm still here.
Okay, I've got you about 7 dB over on my local radio, so I've got a good copy on you at the moment. Just out of curiosity, can you defeat your external EQs? Can you defeat your external EQs and still maintain continuity with the microphone?
Yeah, I should be able to set them all flat. I am feeding into the EQ box with an XLR cable, and I have set everything roughly to 0, which everything should be flat across the 8-band EQ.
Roger, roger. Okay, now I want you to go to internal EQ and do a plus 5 bass boost. Plus 5 bass boost internal EQ, Roger. We're just going to play with the radio EQ for a moment and see where we can go with it, Roger.
Okay, that is plus 5 on treble. This microphone is plus 5 on treble. You said bass. Let's see here. It's actually plus 5 now as well because I had it set up the way the other guy said. All right, so there is 0 treble and plus 5 bass.
Okay, you want to go plus 3 treble EQ. Now plus 3 treble EQ. Plus 4 treble EQ from where you are. Plus 4 treble boost.
All right, there is plus 4 treble boost.
Okay, and your bottom end is plus 5?
Yes, QSL is plus 5.
Okay, might I ask how close you are to your microphone?
About 4 inches roughly, 4 fingers.
All right, and go back to your ALC and double check your ALC level. We've done quite a bit of shifting there, so we want to be sure that the ALC is running mid-scale to 2/3.
Okay, QSL, let's see here. That's about the 2/3, 3/4 on peak QSL.
Okay, I'm starting to lose you a little bit propagation-wise. All right, I want you to give me about 10 seconds on your antenna system, and let me hear you.
Okay, the antenna
system, and let me hear you.
Okay, the antenna is at a reverted V. It's down reverted V. It's down at each end at about 20 to 23 feet. Fed with LMR 400, clear back to the amplifier.
Roger. And what mic are you using, sir?
And what mic are you using, sir?
It is a Rode odd mic.
A Rode what mic?
A Rode what mic?
It's called a Rode odd mic. DOD, Papa Oscar Delta mic.
Oh, Roger. Well, gosh, that's interesting because you're still shy on the bottom end and we're full bass boost. So let's go back now. Start cranking in your EQs on the outboard. I want you to go 250 cycles plus 3. 250 cycles plus 3.
Plus 3. 250 cycles plus 3.
All right, 250 cycles is plus 3.
Okay, what's the one below that?
Okay, what's the one below that?
1.
Okay, and let's take that at plus 4.
Okay, and let's take that at plus 4.
All right, it is at plus 4.
All right, now tell me, gosh, something you like best about your radio for 10 seconds. Let me hear you.
Something you like best about your radio for 10 seconds. Let me hear you.
It's very easy to operate. It's affordable, and let's see here. have other radios as well, but I use this one the most.
Roger, you're coming and going. I'm trying to keep you on my local antenna, and I had to go over to Milford for a minute, but I'm back on my local antenna. So talk to me about 10 seconds of the topics of your choice.
Well, the amplifier I'm running is a Meritron AL800H, 2.3CX 800 A7 tube, ceramic, driving in with about, it's right about 50 watts. It's putting out legal limit. I used to play guitar. Gave that up many, many years ago. Still have all the guitars. One of these days, I say I'm going to pick one back up and play it again. But I just haven't got there yet.
Roger, I think that's pretty full. Now, you can get fuller, but the thing about getting fuller, more bottom end, is that you have to have more top end for balance. So the whole thing is top to mid-range balance and bottom to mid-range balance. So right now you sound very balanced. You could have more bottom end, but again, you'd have to have more top end to balance that out, Roger.
Oh, yeah, QSL. Oh, yeah. The EQ has got plenty more top end.
You got something about 2.9, 2.8K?
2.5 and 3200.
Let's go 2.5 plus 5. 2.5 at plus 5.
Okay, there is 2.5 at plus 5.
Alrighty, and give me a little more audio so I might listen to you.
Okay, not very active on ham radio. I check into a few nets and all that. Most people say the audio sounds just fine, but I know it sounds better than probably what it does or did.
Roger that. Yeah, I would go back to my ALC and double check my ALC level, since we have been adding a bunch of stuff, and you know, anytime you start doing major EQs, you need to always go back to your ALC and double check for your mid-scale to 2/3 operation.
Okay, 1, 2, there. It's right about there, 3/4 on peak. Had to lower it just a little bit.
Yeah, Roger. Now, you know, what's your, like at 175, what's the next one down, 80?
Yes, 80 is the lowest one.
Well, we can just play with 80 if you wanted to come up plus 5 on 80.
Okay, I'm turning up right now. There's plus 3 and going to plus 5 right now.
Let's see, maybe come down one click from where you are.
Okay, there I just went down slightly one click.
Yeah, I think that's fuller. Again, go back to your ALC and check, because those bass frequencies do come up pretty quick on the ALC.
Okay, let's see here. I'll lower the audio just a little more to get back to 3/4. Periodically, I get one that jumps just slightly over 3/4, but for the average, it's running 3/4.
Yes, sir. That's I'd call that close enough. Now, Vito, what you got up there? Gosh, I guess we're not making up towards Canada way.
Okay. Well, I'll just tape it down right here for now.
Roger, I think Vito was correct. I'm really surprised about that low end. The microphone doesn't seem to have a lot of bottom end, and that's when we're having to crank so heavy to get that bottom end up. Usually on a 7300, if the mic is fairly flat in the bottom end, you're only talking a +1, +2, you know, to get that bottom end up, you know. So that does that microphone have a low cut switch on it?
No, it does not. The reason I switched to this one is I was running a Behringer XM8500, which a lot of people run.
Behringer XM8500, which a lot of people run,
but it was so bass heavy. Just the microphone flat was bass heavy.
Roger that. I'm listening to you on Milford, and you sound just beautiful. Of course, Milford's got that roll-off at 300 cycles, but I have a much better copy on you noise-wise on Milford than I do on my local antenna now. So I'd run it like that. If Vito has got any further comments, he was right about it requiring both the internal and the external EQ. Somewhat amazing that it would do that, and usually I try to avoid running both equalizers inboard and outboard at the same time if at all possible. But anyway, I would according to whatever he would like. He has a very great sounding station, frequency response down to 100 cycles, and it's balanced to the top end, so he has a very balanced audio signal. So I would defer to him if you would like, Roger.
Audio signal, so I would defer to him if you would like, Roger.
Okay, I can do that. I sent him an email a few minutes ago. He's got a nice QRZ page. He also runs the same radio and the same EQ that I do.
Roger, yeah, but the whole thing is the microphone. There's no microphones are the same. All microphones probably are different, and the bottom end particularly, Roger.
We basically kind of templated the starting point. It's not the go-to for everything, but it's the starting point for. I run an RE20 microphone, and depends on the voice and the EQ settings. And again, it all depends on the voice and all that. But you're sounding a lot better now, and you're getting a lot better frequency range as well. Over.
Yeah, you were right, man. I was really surprised about having to use both EQs to bring that bottom end up, Roger.
Both EQs to bring that bottom end up, Roger.
Well, Jim, you know what? I'm kind of like you. I really don't like the idea of running both. To be honest with you, I'd rather not. I'd rather keep it flat, like you said on the radio. But we just didn't find the even with the Electro Voice RE20, we didn't find it getting that bottom boost. And tweaking and playing with, like I said, my good friend Eric N2RRA in New Jersey. He kind of templated a starting point, for these dynamic microphones. Now, microphones are all different. You know that as well as I do. So the roads that Brent is running might react a little bit more differently than the RE20, but at least it's a starting point. But you're getting a lot better bottom response there, Brent. Over.
Okay, yeah, QSL. Like I said, I appreciate both of you for the help.
Roger, and I got to jump out of here, man. I'm 20 minutes past being a pumpkin, so I got to get out of here. Let me say 73 to all, and we'll delve back into this next Friday. And there's a recording being made that if anybody would care to listen, if you go to YouTube and do a call and a search for KC9VKV, followed by today's date, 6/25/21, everything is in there. So we'll say, 73 for now. We'll be returning this frequency back to average, normal, everyday ham radio use. This is KC9VKV Clear.
This is KC9VKV Clear.
Okay, Jim, 73, buddy.
All right, 73, Jim. Kilowatt Delta 8 Golf, Kilo Radio.